You're going to need a strap or a band today, and maybe a cushion if you want to start sitting up on something if your hips feel a little bit tight. But welcome, welcome, let's get going. So we're going to start unusually in a seated position today. It's a little bit up and down this class, but we're going to start seated. So if you want to pop a cushion, a blanket, rolled up jumper underneath your bottom. If you're desperate to lie down, nothing bad will happen, have a lie down and I'll get you up to seated when you need to. But if you're okay, we're going to start comfortable seated position. I'm going to sit cross-legged, but you can stretch your legs out, you can kneel down, whatever feels comfortable. Yeah, a few jumpers going on because it's still a little bit chilly out there, isn't it? So just arrange yourself in such a position that you can sit comfortably for a few minutes. So padding up if need be, lovely. So let's bring the shoulders up towards the ears. So we're going to focus on kind of hips and heart today. So shrug up the shoulders and then looping them down the back, just let them drop easily away from the ears. We'll do that one more time. So you can shrug them all up, almost imagine gathering up all the tension that might have gathered up this week. Bring it all up, up, up. And then loop the shoulders down the back, let the shoulders drop away from the ears. And there's a lovely phrase a yoga teacher once said in a class that she said, imagine a heavy velvet cloak has just been gently placed around your shoulders, just weighing them down very gently away from your ears. Maybe close your eyes this morning if you feel comfortable doing so, or just soften your gaze to the floor in front of you. And we'll start the class just by taking a moment to ground yourself in your sit bones. So find that connection just between your seat and the mat beneath you, making sure that you're not leaning into the left hip or the right hip, that you feel nice and balanced across your sit bones. And from that point, imagine that the breath now is traveling up and down that long line of your spine. So you might well have dropped your chin down a little bit towards your chest, opening up some space in the back of the neck, but just make sure the body hasn't pitched forwards. So the breath traveling all the way up and down the back of the body. Just opening up and lengthening up some space, bringing you into that lovely upright position. And begin to connect with your breath. And then just shifting the focus slightly, we'll bring one hand to rest on your yogic heart, the middle of your chest, and the other hand to rest on your lower belly. It really doesn't matter which hand is where. Soften the elbows, keep that lovely upright posture. And these next couple of breaths, really draw the breath into the space beneath both hands now. And as you exhale, can you keep the distance between those hands the same? So we're not rolling forwards or not hunching. We're keeping that lovely long spine at the back of the body. Maybe noticing the breath perhaps is coming more easily and more comfortably into one hand than the other. And see if you can begin over the next few breaths to lengthen both the inhale and the exhale. Bringing the breath under conscious control. And just by slowing down our breath is an automatic response, but it's also an element that we can have a little bit of control over. So we can begin to deepen and lengthen each breath, tapping into our parasympathetic nervous system, that part of our nervous system that helps us send messages around the body into the brain that it's okay to slow down, it's okay to begin to drop out of all the busyness, to rest, to digest, to feel safe. And we'll take a couple more breaths like that. Feeling your heartbeat, feeling your breath. And keep the connection with your breath now as you just very gently bring the hands down to the floor alongside you. Pressing the fingertips very gently down into the floor alongside the hips. You can feel again that lovely elongation through the back body, the shoulders, looping down the back away from the ears. And on your next inhale, turning the palms up towards the ceiling, slowly begin to bring the arms up above the head. And you might keep the arms in a nice wide V shape. Some of you might be able to kiss the palms together, touching them in that lovely prayer position above the head. On your next inhale, really lengthen the fingertips up towards the ceiling. The sides of the body grow nice and long. And as you exhale, arms stay where they are, but drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Feel the whole shoulder girdle soften. Lovely. Beautiful. And stay there for a breath or two. Every inhale, see if you can grow a little taller. And every exhale, see if you can soften the shoulders. So turning the palms forwards now, take one more inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to cactus the arms. So have a little peek if you're not sure what that means. So the elbows draw down level with the shoulders. Just check the fingertips are in line with the wrist, you're not flicking them back. Tips of the elbows draw back and start to bring the chest forwards. Maybe lift the chin a little way so you really feel that lovely opening through your heart. Keep breathing here. Lovely. Take one more inhale, draw the tips of the elbows back. And as you exhale, turn the palms to face you as you bring the elbows towards one another. Keeping the elbows chest height if you can. Drop the chin down towards your chest and feel a nice squeeze across the back there. Sending the shoulder blades left to right. Lovely. As you inhale, palms turn forward. As you cactus the arms, lift the chest, lift the chin. And as you exhale, turn the palms in as you bring the elbows towards one another. They might touch, elbows and forearms might touch, chin to chest. Lovely. We'll do just one more of those. Inhale, cactus the arms, open the chest, lift the chin. Fingers point skywards. And as you exhale, palms turn in, opening up across the upper back. Lovely. Inhale, take the arms all the way out to the side, straighten the arms, turn the palms down. And as you exhale, fingertips find the floor. Draw the shoulders forwards and up. And then loop them down the back. Lovely. We'll do that once more. So really scooping the shoulders forwards and up. And keeping them down the back now as you bring the right hand to the floor, sliding it just away from you. Reach the left arm up. First of all, so up arm alongside the ear. Reach up on an inhale. And as you exhale, try and keep that length as we come over into a gentle side stretch. You might turn your chin towards your armpit. Draw the thumb back. Drop the weight evenly through your sit bones. Lovely. We'll push the floor away on an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the left hand down, slide the fingertips away from you. So right arm reaches right up towards the ceiling. Really find that length as you inhale. Try and keep that length as you exhale over to the left. Maybe the chin turns. Just bringing the chin towards your armpit. You can keep the gaze down if that's more comfortable. Lovely. Inhale as you reach up. And exhale, bring the arm down. You can give the legs a shake if they're getting a little bit tired. Left arm lifting, inhale. This time as you exhale, we're going to bring that left hand across the body to the opposite knee or thigh. And just scoop the right hand behind you. So you can begin to open the body into a twist, just keeping that right hand maybe coming up on little tented fingertips. So you can again keep that lovely elongation through the back of the body. Head might start to turn if that feels comfortable, bringing that movement a little higher up the spine. Lovely. Now we're going to keep that left hand where it is. As you bring your gaze and your chest back through center, we'll start to lift the knees up towards you and bring that right arm over the top, holding onto your left knee. So one hand cupping opposite knee. Lovely. Sit up nice and tall as you inhale. And as you exhale, push the knees into your hands as you round the back, hugging your belly towards your spine. Again, sending the shoulder blades left to right. Lovely. Let the knees go. Sweep the arms all the way up in front of you like you're taking off a big jumper. All the way up, and then bring the hands behind you, fingertips finding the floor, pointing forwards or slightly out to the side. So again, you can push the floor away, lift the chest, lift the chin. Now, if the hips are feeling okay, we can begin to bring them into the equation by lifting the hips up so you're balanced on your knees. We'll squeeze the bottom, avoid throwing the head back. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly Come all the way down. Keep leaning into your hands as you just stretch the legs out, give them a little bit of a bounce, and then recross them the opposite way, the way that feels a little bit strange after all of that. Lovely, right arm lifting, inhale. Exhale, coming across to opposite knee or thigh. Other hand, left hand, just finding its ways away round towards the back of the body, behind your sitting bone there. Sitting up nice and tall, you might be holding your thigh, you might be holding your knee, you might be holding your shin. Just try and keep that integrity through the back of the body, no matter what your head is doing. You might keep the gaze forwards. Lovely. And then keeping that right hand where it is, we slowly start to come back to center, lifting the knees. And this time we circle the left arm all the way up and over. So holding the opposite knee. We'll take a nice inhale as you sit up nice and tall, and as you exhale, push the knees into the hands and you round the back. So you're hollowing out through your belly, pushing your knees against your hands, sending the shoulder blades left to right. Lovely, and then we let go of the knees. Keep the arms crossed as you sweep them all the way up as though you're taking off that big jumper. Big opening up through the shoulders as you circle the hands all the way back behind you. Find a position of the hands that works for you. Push the floor away. Send the collarbones this time left to right. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Option to lift the hips. You're pressing the knees to the floor. If that doesn't work, it's quite a big hip opener, then just keep the bottom on the floor there. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, chin to chest. We'll lower the hips. And we'll find our way over onto all fours. So you can bring your hands down in front of you or just roll over your feet. Or uncross the legs, whatever works for you. Hands underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath your hips there. So we're coming into a nice long tabletop position. So pressing the hands into the floor, press into the tops of the feet, firm up through the belly. So we're not collapsing between the shoulder blades there. And we'll start a couple of rounds of that lovely cat-cow. So when you're ready, as you inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, heart draws forwards, pressing into your hands. And exhale, rounding the back, spreading the shoulder blades left to right. Lovely. And then when you're ready to inhale, we drop the belly. Heart pulls forwards, keep pressing into the hands. Lovely. Take it nice and slow. And just work with the rhythm of your breath. And if your shoulders, your chest, they feel really tight today, just take your hands a fraction wider apart, and that will just afford you a little bit more space there. Oh, that feels nice. It's such a simple move, but it's such an effective one too. Just bring some awareness both to our breath and to our bodies, our back and front. Lovely. Inhaling, heart pulling forwards. And this time as you exhale around the back, we're going to pause there. So really hollowing out through the belly there, making that lovely arch through the back. And take a little nudge of your hips slowly from side to side, so you're wagging an imaginary tail, keeping that nice arch of the back. And you might feel a little stretch in the hips, maybe a release in the lower back, a little stretch there. Keep it nice and slow. Keep it within the realms of what feels good for you today. Lovely. And then slowly bring the hips back to center and come back to that lovely neutral tabletop. You're going to walk the hands forwards and then take the knees back, and slowly try to push your bottom back. We'll bring the forehead down towards the floor. Just check that your elbows are still in line with your shoulders. And the wrists. So we've got two nice long lines there. Offering your forehead down. So it's called a heart opening pose. Some of you might feel quite a deep stretch between your shoulder blades and want to bring your hands a little closer towards you. Softening down, down, down. Lovely. Hips drawing back, heart melting down. And then slowly we'll lift the head. Just come up onto your hands so you can slowly lower yourself down, tops of the thighs coming down to the floor, then the hips, sliding the elbows forwards, underneath the shoulders, coming into sphinx pose. So again, check that the palms are flat to the floor, the elbows underneath the shoulders, and the forearms are parallel. Press into the tops of the feet. So you might even feel the tops of your knees engage and maybe lift from the floor. Pressing the hips gently down. Feel that lovely long line from the navel all the way up towards the top of the throat. Elbows drawing back slightly as though you want to pull the body forwards. Lovely sphinx pose. If that's a little bit too much today, then just take the elbows wider and slightly forwards, just to soften that bend in the back. Lovely. So a little bit of strength here. We're going to interlace the hands in front of you. So the elbows stay roughly underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under, take an inhale. And as you exhale, press into your forearms and come up into a plank. You can always come onto your knees. If you're with me, you're in plank. Take the gaze just forwards of your knuckles. Try and dome the upper back ever so slightly. Spread the shoulder blades firm up through the belly. See if we can hold for 3, 2, and 1. Let the knees come down. Let the hips drop down towards the floor. Undo the hands, bring the hands under the shoulders, push onto all fours, tuck the toes, taking the hands slightly forwards and wider of the shoulders. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heart. And as you exhale, let's push up into a downward facing dog. If that's not for you today, you can stay on all fours, take a cat-cow. If you're with me in that downward dog, we'll start that little release for the backs of the legs as you pedal out through the feet, dropping one heel and then the other. Maybe give a little shake of the head, keep pressing the hands forwards and down, hips coming all the way up and back. So again, lovely length through the sides of the body. Beautiful. And we'll stop that pedaling, bringing our big toes and our ankles to touch. Pop a little bend in the knees and see if you can send your hips up and back a little bit further. So elongate through the sides of the body, and then maybe the heels can drop down towards the earth. My heels aren't touching, but I've still got that lovely length through the side body. Lovely. Right leg lifting as you inhale, turning the toes out to the side, a little bit of hip opener. And as you exhale, let's bring the foot all the way back down to the floor. Other side, inhale, taking the left leg up, turning the toes out. Can you keep both shoulders level there so you're not rolling into that right side? And release. Lovely. Right leg lifting. Inhale. This time as you exhale, bend the knee, drop the heel down towards your bottom. So you're kind of opening up into that right hip, but try to keep both arms straight and keep pressing into that right hand there. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring the foot down. Just one more on the left side. So inhale, take the leg up, turn the toes out. Exhale as you bend the knees. You're having a little peep underneath that left armpit, but we're still pressing the hips back. We're still keeping the shoulders square. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly, we'll release. Bring the feet to the floor and start to take a little walk forwards. Feet coming towards your hands in a forward fold. Lovely. If a forward fold isn't for you today, slowly bring your hands just up above your knees, lifting your head higher than your heart, or you can hook your elbows around the tops of your thighs. If you're in a forward fold, let the upper body yield forwards and down. Keep a soft bend in the knees. Take the sting out of the hamstrings. Lovely. And then sliding the hands up to your shins. Begin to straighten the legs, send the hips back, take the heart forwards and draw the shoulders away from the ears, flat back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, soften the knees all the way back down into that forward fold. Lovely. And again, hands to the shins. Slide the heart forwards, hips draw back. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Keep the knees bent as you bring your hands onto your thighs. So you've got that lovely rounding through the back. Hollow out through the belly. Keep that rounding now as you slowly walk the hands up the legs. Head comes up last, slowly straightening the legs, coming up to stand nice and slow. Lovely. I'll turn around to face you. As you inhale, draw the shoulders forwards and up. And then exhaling, loop them all the way back and down. And again, inhale, draw them all the way up. And exhale all the way back and down. I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly so you can see me. So hands now, we're going to have the right thumb on top and the left thumb is going to face down towards the floor. You're going to hook your fingers. So right thumb on top, left thumb underneath. Lovely. Press down through the feet. You're going to take the arms up above the head. Lovely. So you've got your right thumb on top. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to tip over to the left and try and pull the fingers against one another. So you're trying to pull the fingers apart. So you should get a nice stretch out through the back, through the sides of the body. Press into the right foot. Come all the way back up through center and just change the hook. So this time, left thumb on top, right thumb down. Take an inhale as you pull the hands apart. And as you exhale, we'll take a little side bend over to the right. Keep pulling the fingers against one another, a little bit of resistance. Come all the way back up through center. Once more each side. So right thumb on top, left thumb underneath. Pull the hands. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale, take that little tip Over to the left, push the hips to the right. Keep that right elbow pointing high. Lovely. Come all the way back up. Lovely. Last time, changing the hook, left thumb on top. Really kind of get that tug of the hand so you feel the upper back engage. Keep that engagement as you take that little half moon stretch. Lovely. Come all the way back up through center, reaching the arms up, and then bringing the hands back down alongside you. We're going to turn the palms forwards and draw the hands slightly back behind the line of the body, so you're opening up through the chest. Lovely. Beautiful. Inhale as you take the arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And this time as you exhale, palms face forwards, draw the arms back, start to send the hips back. Keep the heart lifted as we come almost into a little ski jump. Lovely. So inhale, sweep the arms up, straightening the legs, palms face in, grow really tall. Exhale, palms face forwards, back to the hands, draw back as you sink back into that chair pose. We're going to add on this next time. Inhale, rise up, take the gaze forwards, and at the top, maybe lift the heels. Let's pause for a moment, poised on the balls of the feet, and then as you exhale, sink the heels and come down into that chair pose. Back of the hands lead the way. Heart and shoulders opening. Once more, inhale, reaching the arms up, up, up. Maybe adding that little lift of the heels, pause. Slowly lower the heels, exhale as you come down into that chair pose. We're going to pause there. Lovely. So fingers just drawing back behind you, gazing just down towards the floor in front of you. Option to shift the weight into the balls of the feet. Can you lift the heels? Keep the body weight slightly forwards, keep the arms drawing back. You might do a little Darcy bustle, tiptoe back and forth. Lovely. And then drop the heels, interlace the hands behind you, thumbs rest on the low back. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a forward fold. Keep the hands resting on the back, let the crown of the head drop down. An option now to take the arms up and over. Getting a deep shoulder stretch. If that's not for you, keep the thumbs resting on the lower back. Beautiful. Bring the thumbs down onto your back. And then hands finding the floor or your shins. Inhale, lift the heart, come up halfway. And as you exhale, plant the hands and take 2 steps back into your downward facing dog. Lovely. Walking the feet wider apart, take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop down onto all fours, knees wide, drawing the big toes towards one another. Take an in-breath. And as you exhale, slide the hips back down towards the heels, coming into a wide-legged child pose. Arms slide forwards, hips draw back. You can maybe have a little rock across the forehead there, just rocking from side to side, just massaging the temples. And then keeping that right arm where it is, come up onto your tented fingertips on that right hand. So the palm and the elbow are lifted, and we'll feed the left arm underneath, coming into a little thread needle. So we're peeping underneath the right armpit, coming down onto the side of the head. You might feel a little stretch in the inner thigh as well as between the shoulder blades. Lovely. And then slowly feeding that left arm forwards, coming up onto tented fingertips. Right arm feeds underneath, palm up towards the ceiling as you slide the hand away from you. Beautiful. And then slowly, slowly reaching that left arm forwards. We'll pull ourselves back onto all fours, bringing your knees together, lifting up your shins, you're balanced on your knees. Wag your toes to the right and look over your right shoulder. Come back through center, spin on your knees, take your heels, your feet over to the left, the curving left shoulder. Inhale to center, one more each way. Little pivot on the knees. You can always keep the shins on the floor if it's a little bit too much. One more over to the left. Lovely, we'll come all the way back through center, taking your feet over to the right, bring the shins down, drop your hips down, and pop your feet out in front of you. I'm just gonna, again, jump up and move the camera arm up and down today, and find your strap. You're gonna need the bands now. So again, you might be up on a cushion, take your yoke strap or your dressing gown belt. And if it's a long strap like I've got, you're gonna double it up. So you've got a shorter strap. Lovely. So we're gonna bring the strap out in front of you. And it's about shoulder width apart. If your shoulders are really tight, slide your hands further apart and give yourself more band. It's about shoulder width. And just take your thumbs, if you've got them underneath your band, and bring them on top. So your knuckles and your thumbs are on the top there, lovely. You're gonna bring the arms down towards the floor. And now just add that little tug. So imagine you're wanting to pull the bands apart so you feel an engagement across the chest. As you inhale, keep that pulling as you bring the arms all the way up. Remember, you can always widen your band, keep the shoulder blades down the back. And as you exhale, slowly coming down, lovely. So we're going to repeat that. So as you inhale, a little tug on the band. So remember, you can widen your arms if you need to afford yourself some more space. Try not to have the shoulders up around your ears. Exhale, coming all the way down, lovely. Going to do that twice more. So as you do this, maybe notice if one shoulder wants to bully the other. I've got more mobility, more strength in my right side than my left side. And some of you, your right arm might feel the same. Beautiful. Little tug at the top and then slowly come all the way back down. This time we'll just bring the arms up level with the shoulders. Bring your knuckles together. Push your knuckles towards one another. Feel again that engagement across the chest. And then turn the palms up towards the ceiling and rest the back of the hands just on your shins there. You might just want to have a little head roll just to release any tension. Lovely. And then we're going to add on. So once more, thumbs on top, that little tug of the band. So this time we're going to do a little bit of rotation for the spine. So keep it nice and small if you've got any issues going on with your back. So we're going to take the band over to the right and then tilting that left arm up towards the ceiling. You start to lift the band all the way up over the top of the head and then all the way over to the other side, and the right hand comes down. Lovely. So leading with that right arm, pulling over towards the right, opening up through that left arm because you bring the arm all the way up. Any football supporters will know this one. All the way down. And then all the way over to the right. One more, so take it nice and slow. So trying to keep both arms relatively straight, especially when you come over to the side. Lovely. Keep the band low, pause, and then we'll go around the opposite way. So this time we're leading with the left hand. Then that right armpit opens. Oh, and you might notice one side feels a little tighter than the other. So we'll do that twice more. So nice, slow rotations there. Oh, keep that little tug of the band. Come on, you Reds. It's like watching a football crowd. Let's go all the way up. Lovely. And all the way down. Beautiful. Bring the arms just level with the shoulders. Punch the knuckles together. Open up through the chest. So pressing the knuckles together. And then flipping the palms up towards the ceiling. Just let the band go. Rest the back of the hands on the shins or the thighs there. Lovely. I'm just going to turn sideways on for this next one. Beautiful. So we're going to hold on to the band again, taking the band in front of you. We'll tug of the band. We're going to bring the band all the way up towards the ceiling. A little bit of a transition here to build up some strength in the core and the back. Can you lean back and bring your feet down to the floor? Keep the chest lifted. Yeah, lovely. And then popping the band down to the side. We're going to need it in a minute. Either just bringing your hands just behind your thighs, one hand on each side, or maybe one hand clasping the opposite wrist. You're going to lean back slightly as you slide your toes in towards you. Lift up through the chest. You can stay here with the toes on the floor, or take a little lean back and see if you can bring your shins parallel to the floor. So we're in a supported boat pose. Chest lifted. A little bit of wibble wobble. Option to stay there or release the arms out, palms up, fingertips lengthening forwards. See if we can hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, perfect. And 1, bring the feet down, hip width apart, hands cup the knees. Inhale, sit forwards and up, draw the chest forwards. Exhale, straighten the arms as you lean back, chin tucking into chest. Inhale, sit forwards and up. Chest comes forwards. Exhale as you round the back. Lovely. Just once more, inhale. And this time as you exhale, we're going to round the back and come down onto your forearms. So keep pressing the floor away. If this is really uncomfortable, you can stay up on your hands, but I prefer to drop down on my forearms. You can always lie down on your back if this proves a little uncomfortable. Try and keep pressing into your forearms so your chest is lifted. And we'll bring the right knee in towards the chest. And start to circle the legs. So we're getting more into the hips now. So knee to chest, knee out to the right, straightening the leg as you take it towards the top of your mat. So you're drawing like a half breaststroke. Keep pressing into the forearms so we're not collapsing in the chest there. Lovely. Let's do one more big circle. Oh, I can hear lots of clicking and crunching in that hip. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the foot down to the floor. Come onto your hands as you sit yourself up and extend both legs out in front of you. So sitting up right on the top of your sit bones. Right ankle crosses on top of left ankle. If that's really uncomfortable, keep the feet apart. Take a nice breath in as you reach up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, come forwards. And you might find that you can feel a stretch down the outer side of that right leg. If it's really uncomfortable, separate your feet and just come into our normal forward fold. See if you can soften it. You can always soften the knees a little bit. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly rise up to seated. Bring the hands back behind you. And this is when we might get experimental with the position of your hands, turning the fingers out or forwards. We're going to slide that right ankle to rest on top of your left knee. So you've almost made like a figure 4 shape with the legs. That's it, lovely. You can stay there, or if you want a little bit more, slide that left heel in towards you. So you're bringing that right shin parallel to your chest. So again, this is when you might need to adjust the position of your hands. Now, some of you might already feel a stretch in your hip as you press that right knee away from you. If you want a little bit more, lift your bottom, bring your bottom towards that left heel, and then walk the hands a little closer in towards you. So you're bringing your chest closer towards that right shin. Keep pressing the knee away from you. Obviously, the further the heel is away from you, the less a stretch you're going to get. Lovely. Those of you very open in the hip might cradle your right knee in your right elbow and your right foot in your left elbow. Sitting up nice and tall, you're bringing the shin parallel to your chest there. Do you want to sit up nice and tall? If you end up rounding, bring the hands back to the floor. I can really feel this one. You're like cradling your shin like a baby. Lovely. So wherever you are, take one more nice deep round of breath, stretching it out through that outer hip. And if you're holding onto your shin, bring your hands just back to the floor behind you so you can unhook the foot and extend both legs. Give the knees a little bit of a bounce. Make sure your band is to hand as you reach the arms out in front of you. Tuck the chin to your chest, take an inhale. And as you exhale, can you roll your way down, articulating through the spine, coming down one vertebra at a time, and reach both arms back above the head, coming into a full body stretch. And this is when you can go a little bit freestyle. You can stretch the legs away from you, point the toes, flex the toes, slide one foot away and then the other, so you're opening up through the sides of the hips. Just have a little bit of a release there in that stretch. Lovely, and then bring the arms down alongside you, walk your heels back in towards you so your feet are flat to the floor. You might need just to lift your pelvis and adjust the back of your pelvis there. So bringing that right knee in towards your chest, you're going to pick up your band and lifting head and shoulders, we're going to bring the band around the ball of the foot. Try not to wrap the band around your hands, so let it slide through your fingers as you bring your elbows down toward the floor. They might even rest on the floor, and we'll extend that right leg up towards the ceiling there, little hamstring stretch. So there might be a bend in the knee, and just make sure that you're not gripping that band with unnecessary force, as that will travel down our arms and into our neck, our shoulders and into our face. Lovely. So we can keep the band in both hands, or you can bring both pieces of band into your right hand and let the left arm relax alongside you. The choice is yours. And we're very slowly going to start to take the leg from left to right. Keeping the leg straight, keeping the movement nice and small, and keeping the weight even across your lower back there. Just a little swing from side to side, left to right, and right to left. Ankle isn't twisting. Face is soft. Lovely. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Again, you can hold in both hands. You can keep the band in your right hand. So imagine now you're going to draw a little spiral. So begin now nice and small. So you start with small circles. So you're drawing a little circle on the ceiling with that right foot. And then gradually, like a snail shell, you might start to make that circle a little bit bigger. You might need to slide the band through the hands to give yourself more space as you take that leg into as big or as small a circle as your hip permits. And when you reach that point where you feel, yep, I've reached the biggest point of that circle, we'll pause. And then coming back in an ever decreasing spiral. So we're starting big as you take the leg around the opposite way. Start big and then gradually coming inwards like that little snail shell, all the way back to that point of stillness. Lovely. And when the leg is still, flex the foot gently. Bring the band into your left hand now and let the right arm relax to the floor. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, draw that right leg across the body so the back of that right buttock will lift. Just make sure you've not twisted the foot. Oh, hello. Inhale, come back through center. Bring the band into your right hand. And as you exhale, allow that right leg to drop open, maybe bringing your elbow down to the floor. So you come to the inner thigh stretch. And you can allow that left knee to roll open so you're on the outer edge of that left foot. Lovely. Slowly, slowly, let's come all the way back through center. Now we're going to repeat that with the option now to extend your left leg out straight in front of you. Band in the left hand, right arm down alongside you, take an inhale. Exhale, bring that right leg across the body. And if you've got that left leg extended, you might be coming into a deeper twist, rolling onto the outside edge of that left leg. I know, meaning my feet, yes. Inhale, come all the way back through center, band in your right hand. Now let's all bring the left hand to the top of that, the left hand to the top of the left hip. Pressing down gently, press into your left heel if the leg is extended as you open up into that inner thigh stretch. So try not to shift all the way into that right buttock, especially if that left leg is extended. Stretch the heel away from you on that right side. Lovely. Kicking out through the heel, pressing down gently with that left hand to keep you anchored. Slowly, slowly bring that right leg back to center, holding the band in both hands. Option now to keep the left leg extended as you very gently begin to bring the leg, that right leg, a little closer towards you if that feels good. The leg starts to shake, you've gone a little bit too far, too fast. Keep the back of the neck long. Make sure you're not gripping the band, relax your fingers. And final option is you inhale and exhale, lifting nose towards knee, using the band to help you as you're drawing yourself up towards that right leg. Knee coming towards nose. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly lowering all the way down, bringing that knee in towards your chest. Dropping the band to one side, coming back to that full body extension, reaching the arms back. You might notice that right leg feels maybe a little longer than the left, maybe a little bit more open. And then bringing the heels in close to your bottom, bring the arms down alongside you, palms down to the floor. Press into all four corners of the feet. And as you inhale, push into the feet, lift the hips, come into a little shoulder bridge. Take an inhale at that highest point for you, which might not be very high at all today. And as you exhale, keep the tailbone tucked under as you ripple your way down, again trying to articulate all the way through the spine. Inhale when the hips touch down. Exhale, up we go again, rippling the spine up. Maybe your bottom is in line with the backs of your knees. Lovely. Inhaling at the top, checking the pelvis is straight. Exhale as you roll all the way down. Lovely. So we're really firing up through the back seam of the body. Just once more. Inhale. Exhale, coming up. Maybe to between the shoulder blades now. You might even need to slide your head away from you a little bit, bringing your chest up towards your chin. Option to slide the shoulder blades towards one another so you can interlace the hands underneath you. You might even begin to press the little finger edge of your hand down as you bring your chest up towards your chin, pushing the hips a little higher. Option to come down if this is a little bit too much today. Lovely. And then releasing the hands, Option to lift the heels and keep them lifted as you ripple your way down, down, down. Lovely. And then bring the knees in towards the chest, one hand on each knee. Have a little rock or a circle there, just massage away any tension from the lower back and the buttocks. Lovely. And then crossing the ankles, widening the knees, holding behind your knees. Have a little roll up and down through the length of your spine. You can do that a couple of times if it feels nice, before we come up to a seated position. Lovely. So I'll turn around the opposite way so I can help you here. Beautiful. So hands just holding underneath the backs of the thighs there, or again, you might clasp the opposite wrist. Slide the toes back towards you. Lift up nice and tall through the chest. Option to stay there or shift the weight back a little ways. Balance on your sit bones and lift your shins parallel to the floor. So try not to rock back there. Think about lifting up through your heart. So it's a really good one for the back and the front of the body. Option to release the arms. Option, if you're feeling really strong, to take the legs out straight in front of you. You almost jackknife the body there. See if we can hold for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the feet down, hip width apart, hands cup the knees. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, chin to chest, straighten the arms as you round the back. Lovely, and again, inhale. So it's a little version of cat-cow. Exhale, shoulder blades go left to right as you round the back. Lovely, just once more. And this time as you exhale, we'll come down once more onto the forearms. So again, you know the drill now. If this is too much, you can always lie down on your back and do those hip circles. So lifting up through the chest, left knee comes in this time. And we start to draw that little, it's almost like a half breaststroke there. Taking the leg out, you might notice some clicks and crunches. Oh, I've got really clunky hips. My goodness me. Keep lifting up through the chest. Lovely. One side might feel a little bit more mobile than the other. So it's a really good one to almost lubricate the joint. Lovely. Let's do just once more. Ooh. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the feet down to the floor, hip width apart. Press into your hands so you can lift yourself up, stretch the legs out in front of you. You can keep the feet exactly as they are, just together, or this time left ankle crosses over right ankle. So we're going to try and get into this outer seam. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And as you exhale, take that forward fold over the legs. And instantly I can feel a little bit of stretch on the outer thigh there. If it's too much, then please feel free to separate your feet, separate the legs. But it's a big, it's called your TFL, that runs up the side of your thigh, almost like the outer seam of your thigh there. It's a big muscle, so it's really good to stretch it out and get quite tight if you're a runner or cyclist. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly we'll lift the chest. Keep that cross at the ankle as you bring the hands behind you. And again, you can have a little play with the position of your hands, turning the fingers out or keep them facing forwards as you slide your left ankle up the leg. So the left ankle now is resting just above your right knee, and that left knee is just opened out to the side. So you can stay there. You can even lie down and do almost like a recline pigeon if that's more comfortable, or slide that right heel to the floor. Keep pressing that left knee away from you. So you've got your left shin parallel to your chest. We want more, lift the bottom, bring your bottom towards that right heel and walk your hands a little closer so you're bringing your chest closer towards the shin. And again, those of you very open might bring right elbow to cradle the foot and left elbow to cradle the knee. So you're sitting up nice and tall. Now I can do this far more comfortably on my left side than my right side. So I'm sitting up nice and tall, I'm not rounding there. So if it's a little bit too much, feel free to keep your hands on the floor. Lovely. So keep pressing that knee away from you, whatever position you're in. Lovely. And if you're cradling the leg, slowly, slowly release your baby. Bring the hands down and extend the legs in front of you, giving them a little bit of a bounce. Beautiful. Reaching the arms in front of you, tuck the chin in, take an inhale. And as you exhale, control that roll down to the mat. Really try and bring each vertebrae down one by one. Lovely. And then reach the arms back above the head, point the toes, flex feet, have a little wiggle there, slide one leg away and then the other. Beautiful. And then we'll try all those stretches on the left side. So arms come down alongside you, heels come in towards the bottom, find your band, hopefully it's not too far away. Adjust your pelvis if you need to. All these things, I don't know. And then we'll bring the left knee in towards the chest. So we're going to lift the head and shoulders to bring the band around the ball of the foot. Try not to bring it in the arch of the foot. Use the ball of the foot. Remember not to wrap the band around your hands. Instead, let it slide between the fingers. Bringing the elbows down as you lower the head, lower the shoulders. And that from that point, we extend the leg up towards the ceiling. And that's when you can have a little play. You can take your arms higher up. You can give yourself a little bit more slack in the band if the hamstring is really tight today. Kind of arrange the body there, finding that point where you can feel a stretch, but the leg isn't shaking. Options to keep the band in each hand, or I'm going to bring both pieces of band into my left hand this time and relax my right arm down. And we do, to start with, that little rock left to right, right to left. So take care that the ankle doesn't start to take any strain here as you twist your foot in funny angles. So you're keeping the leg still, as it were. You're moving the leg as one unit. You're not twisting or turning the ankle there or the knee. So we're feeling that movement from the hip. Lovely. Big can be small. And then we'll come all the way back through center. Again, I'm going to keep the band in my left hand, but if it gives you more control, hold a piece of band in both hands. And we start with those smaller circles, so the smallest point of your snail shell. And you might want to keep them small, or you might start to release a little bit more band, so you can begin to spiral outwards in ever increasing circles. You might notice that one side moves more fluidly, feels more comfortable than the other. And when you reach the biggest circumference, I think my maths is right, the circumference of your circle, you pause. And then we come back in ever decreasing circles. Maths never was my strong point. I never really got the point of it. It was all kind of, if Mary dug one hole and it took her 4 days, how long would it take Pete to do the same? Oh, I couldn't be bothered. Let's come back to that point of stillness. Lovely. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the band into your right hand now. Left arm relaxes. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's come across the body for that lovely outer thigh stretch again, keeping the ankle nice and straight. Back of that left buttock might lift a little bit. Stretch that leg away from you. Lovely. Come back through center. Band in your left hand this time. And we'll come into a little inner thigh stretch. So you can allow that right knee to roll open too. You can rest your left elbow on the floor for a little bit of extra support there. Try not to rock from left to right on the back of the pelvis there. Let's come all the way back through center now. Options to extend the right leg. Kick it out, heel stays in line with your sit bones. Let's bring the band into your right hand, coming across the body. So it might be a deeper twist now, rolling onto the outer edge of that right leg. So the toes don't stay rolled up towards the ceiling. They've rolled over towards the right on that extended leg there. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center. Bringing the band into your left hand. Option to rebend that right leg or right hand to the top of your right thigh, gently pressing down, and we'll take the left leg out to the left. Again, you can rest the elbow on the floor. Try not to roll onto that left buttock so you've got the weight even across your back. You're pressing down into that right heel if you've got the leg extended. Lovely. Beautiful. Let's bring that left leg all the way back through center. Bringing the band into both hands now, one piece of band in each hand. As you draw that left leg a little closer towards you, you can always rebend that right knee. Bring the foot to the floor if it's pulling on your back. We'll take an inhale. And on that exhale, option to lift nose towards knee, knee towards nose. If that doesn't work, keep the head on the floor. Lovely. We'll keep that right leg extended. Slowly, slowly lower all the way back down. Bring the knee in towards the chest so you can just get rid of the band. And then find that lovely full body extension. Arms reaching back, legs reaching forward, point the toes, flex toes, whatever works for you, arch the back. Oh, lovely. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, reach the arms back down alongside you. Bring your heels back in. Hip width apart. Planting down through all four corners of the feet. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, we'll lift the hips up into that little shoulder bridge. Again, you might need to slide your head further up the mat. Lovely. Inhale at the top. And exhale as you slowly, slowly lower all the way down. Lovely. Inhale. Exhale as you take that slow ripple up. So you're pressing into the big toes to keep the knees parallel. You're not rolling the knees out to the side. Inhale at the top. Exhale as you roll your way down. Lovely. Rippling through the spine. Last one, inhale. Exhale as you push the hips up. Now, option to pause there with me or come straight back down and just rest. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath you, interlacing the hands, pressing the little fingers down, bringing the hips up, chest towards chin. Keep the breath there. It's hard to breathe, I know, because the throat is a little bit compressed. Oh, I can feel that this morning. Lovely. And then releasing the arms, lifting up onto the balls of the feet. You can keep your heels lifted or lower them as you ripple, ripple, ripple the spine down. Ooh, beautiful. Give the knees a squeeze. Have a little massage across the buttocks as you rock or circle. I could feel that bridge this morning. Lovely. And then coming to stillness, take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring your nose towards your knees towards your nose. So you're just getting a little stretch out through the upper back. Lovely. And lower the head, lower the shoulders. Now, if your back is a little bit tight today, feel free to bring your feet to the floor. Otherwise, knees stay tucked in towards the chest as you release both arms out level with the shoulders. Now just take care that your knees haven't dropped away from your chest and you're now overarching the back. So imprint the lower back in towards the floor. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring both knees over to the right. And if they don't quite find the floor, you can slide your feet further away from you, just deepening the angle at your hips, or scooping them up towards your chest. If you want a deeper rotation through the spine, right hand might come down onto the top of that left knee or thigh to encourage the knees to come down towards the floor. You might pick up your head and just turn your gaze over that left arm and try and drop a little bit of weight into that left shoulder blade. It's almost like you want to slide that left shoulder blade a little bit down underneath you. So you've opened up through that left pec, the left chest there. Palm up towards the ceiling. Let's let the breath be really easy now. And then rolling across the back of the head, bring the gaze back to center, bring both arms out level with the shoulders. And as you inhale, come all the way back through center with the knees. And exhale will come over to the left. So again, if the knees don't touch the floor, you can always pop something underneath your knees, or if you've got a cushion handy or a jumper, or simply slide your feet further away from you so you've got a deeper angle there. If not, knees curl up towards your chest. And this time the left hand gently brings the knees with a little bit of extra weight towards the floor. You can pick up your head, you can look over that right arm if that feels nice today. If not, keep the gaze more neutral. Just breathe wherever you kind of feel that intense stretch. Some of you might be around the lower back or the hip. Some of you might feel it more across your middle back, your upper back. So you try and drop some weight into that right shoulder blade. It might not be completely flat to the floor. Lovely. And then let's bring both arms up, level with the shoulders. Inhale as you bring the knees back to center. And as you exhale, bring the feet to the floor, keeping the feet and the knees together. Just allow your knees to widen, to drop apart. Soles of the feet are resting together. Heels can be quite close towards your bottom, or if your hips feel very tight, slide your heels a little further away from you. So we're in a reclined goddess pose. Option to keep the arms out level with the shoulders, or bring the arms above the head, resting one hand on top of the other, palms up towards the ceiling. So the back of one hand is resting in the palm of the other hand, so the armpits are open. And just take a couple of breaths there. It's a very gentle hip stretch because you're just allowing the weight of the legs, the weight of the knees, and gravity almost just to open across the front of the body there. Really get the sense of dropping into the back of the body. Let the back of the shoulders drop into the mat. Let the back of the hips drop into the mat. Take a couple more easy breaths there. Lovely. And then very slowly draw your knees together, plant the soles of the feet to the floor, reach the arms back, extend the legs. Let's just come into one more full body stretch, softly pointing the toes, reaching the arms back. As you point the toes, you might even begin to arch your back a little bit, lifting your chest up, getting a nice stretch up through the front of the body. And then soften that stretch. Interlace your hands, push your palms away from you as you flex your feet now. And try pressing the back of the body, the heels, the calves, the buttocks, very gently into the floor. So this time the back of the body is getting a nice stretch, just balancing things out. Do that once more. Separate the hands, reach back through the fingertips, point the toes, maybe arch the back, lift the chest. Front of the body, front of the hips, getting a nice stretch. And then we relax, interlace the hands, flip the palms. You're pushing the palms away from you. This time pulling the toes gently towards your face, imprinting the back of the body, the heels, the calves, the buttocks. Lovely. And then slowly, slowly relax that stretch. And bring the arms all the way back down alongside you, flipping the palms up towards the ceiling, little finger edge of your hands a little bit away from the side of the body, so there's space beneath your armpits. You might even want to lift your chest and snuggle your shoulders a little tighter towards one another. Have a little flop of the feet from side to side, just roll the toes. And then just allow the toes to roll open, so you've got a little bit of openness through the hips, or bring the feet to the floor, bending the knees, taking the feet a little wider than your hips so you can prop the knees against one another. So wherever you are, take a nice deep breath in through the nose. And maybe part the lips as you softly sigh the breath out. Let the breath go. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you release that exhale, letting go of anything that has irritated you, wound you up, got you into a flap this week. Let it go. Let it all go. And then closing the lips, continue to breathe in and out through the nose if you're comfortable. Take a moment just to reconnect with your breath as you allow the back of the body to soften into the floor beneath you now. And again, if it's comfortable, we'll start to lengthen both the inhalation and the exhalation, reconnecting with that part of our brain. It tells us that we're safe. We can slow down. We don't need to be rushing at 100 miles an hour, foot on the accelerator pedal all the time. Just see now if you can begin to relax your jaw, soften your face, allow the shoulders to drop heavily away from your ears. Allowing the neck to lengthen as you just allow the weight of last week to drop away. You might imagine, just as we had at the beginning, a hand resting on your chest and a hand resting on your belly, and imagine the breath being sent evenly and equally to both those parts of the body. And we'll just take a couple more rounds of breath there, just allowing our body to assimilate the effects of the practice. Knowing that you can stay there for as long as you wish, or if you're ready to face the rest of the day, the rest of the week, hopefully feeling a little bit more spacious, a little bit more connected with yourselves. Slowly, starting with your fingers, your toes, have a little wiggle, open and close of the hands, maybe a gentle roll across the back of your head. And if you're lying outstretched, you might want to take the arms back above the head, coming into that full body stretch. If you're with the feet on the floor and the knees bent, you might want to straighten the legs and join us there. It's opening up into the space behind you and in front of you. Lovely. And then we'll all meet, just bringing your knees gently in towards your chest. Lovely. You might want to linger there in stillness, or sometimes it's nice to have a little rock back and forth, or have a little circle of the knees there, releasing any residual tension from the back. And then deciding whether you want to roll onto your right side or your left side. Just take the body over in that direction, wherever there's most space this morning, before coming to join me in a comfortable seated position. Take your time, there's no rush. And just as we did at the beginning, we'll bring one hand onto your heart, one hand onto your belly, soften your elbows, allow your chin to drop gently down towards your chest. Lift up and out of your hips, whatever that means for you. Find a little bit more length through the spine, a little bit more length through the side of the body without the knees drawing up towards your armpits or the shoulders coming up towards your ears. Reconnect with your breath, reconnect with your heart. And then keeping chin dropping down towards the chest, bring the fingertips towards the floor, press the fingers down, lift up through the chest, draw the chin in towards your chest as you draw the shoulders back. So you're feeling a lovely openness through the chest there. And then as you inhale, we'll take both arms up towards the ceiling, lifting the chin, blinking the eyes open if they were closed. And as you exhale, bring the hands down to the heart. Lovely. And namaste. Thank you for your practice. You've ended at the right time because Mealy was getting quite naughty there. So thank you, thank you. Lovely to see you, wasn't it, Mealy? You've been very good. Let's put your mouse on and then you can play with that. There you go, look. There we are. Cat distracted.